Hi, I'm Shaul. Before you learn how to expose a photograph, before you learn composition, before you learn anything else, there is one aspect of photography, skill, of the craft of photography that is rarely discussed. This is the Nikon D4S. It's a well-regarded professional camera, and no one in their right mind will complain about the ergonomics of those cameras. It has a very deep, large grip on the right-hand side. It's rather easy to grab it with one hand. Your fingers fall onto the right places, like the buttons on the back. Your forefinger naturally falls on the shutter release button. It is really comfortable to hold. Taking a picture with one hand is very easy. The heft of this camera will make sure that pressing the shutter release will not cause any movement, and you will get sharp images even at lower shutter speeds, like 1/60th, maybe even 1/30th. This is the Nikon Zf. It is notorious for its poor ergonomics, and indeed, look at this little lip of a grip on the right-hand side. Holding it is a bit of a faff. It doesn't balance well in the hand. The left-hand side of the camera and the lens seems to be heavier than the right-hand side. When you take a shot, simply pushing the shutter release button will cause the camera to somehow rotate slightly around the lens. And just as well, this camera has in-body stabilization. So it is really needed. Otherwise, you would have to resort to very high shutter speeds, much more than the one over the focal length. That is usually adequate. Apart from that, holding the camera like this for a long time puts strain on your right hand. I can already feel a little bit of pain holding the camera this way. Of course, it is possible to add a grip, an external one, to this camera, but that will only make the camera heavier, which counterbalances the advantage of having something to hold on with the right hand. A grip like this newer piece really doesn't do a lot to make the camera more comfortable to hold. The question is, why did Nikon decide to compromise the experience of shooting with this camera so much? Holding the camera this way is really uncomfortable. It is painful. This is the Nikon Fe, an older, 40-year-old or more film camera. And as you can see, it has no right-hand grip whatsoever. The side of the camera is completely flat. Now, it's true, this camera is lightweight compared to the ZF. It is smaller, but it's not any more comfortable to hold. Now, cameras with this exact chassis or similar ones are very popular these days. A lot of people seek them. No one seems to complain about the ergonomics. How come? Well, if you try to shoot the camera this way, you are always guaranteed to get a bad photograph. Why is that? If we compare these two cameras, there are some obvious differences. The FE2 lacks a few key features that modern cameras have. The first one would be autofocus. If you simply shoot like this, you will have no way to control the focal distance, and you can't make sure that your subject will be in focus. Second, the camera lacks a back LCD. The only way to compose the scene, the only way to focus is to look through this viewfinder and carefully watch the split prism in the center of the frame, and only then take a shot. Now, when you hold the camera like this, it is a lot more stable. It is not only the only way to see what you are doing, it also makes sure that your hold of the camera is solid, is steady, and your photographs will be sharp, despite not having a right-hand grip. You see, when you hold the camera this way, you have 3 contact points with the camera. The right hand holds the right side of the body. The left hand supports the weight of the body and the lens right at the center of gravity. And your brow that presses against the viewfinder acts as an extra balance. So you can really hold the camera steady this way. This is true for almost any manual film camera, but it is also true for modern digital cameras. If you hold the Nikon Zf the way you should hold a camera, if you support the camera with your left hand right at the center of gravity, your right hand is free to move, to turn the dials, to press the buttons, to press the shutter button. And there is no strain, there is no pain in holding the camera. Moreover, if you look through the viewfinder, you will find that it is very steady. Mirrorless cameras make it easy to focus and compose through the back LCD. it is possible to hold the camera this way in front of you and just look at the back LCD and shoot. But this way there is only one contact point between your body and the camera. And as we've seen before, it is quite unbalanced. You are likely to move the camera slightly during the exposure. Moreover, it's not only about contact points, also about pressure points that give your hands the flexibility and leverage to hold the camera properly in a solid, steady way. What do I mean by that? Well, when you shoot properly, when you hold the camera this way, your elbows naturally press against your rib cage, and your brow presses against the viewfinder. So there are not only 3 contact points, or also 3 pressure points that make the holding a lot more steady. When you shoot your camera this way, like many dimwits do, there is one contact point, but there are no pressure points. And just to show you what it means in real life, I made this little demonstration where I held the cameras in different manners. I shot those images with the Nikon Zf with this 75mm lens at 1/15 of a second, which is about a fifth of the recommended shutter speed. Of course, I turned off the IBIS mechanism in the camera, just to show you what it really means. When I held the camera this way, again, there is one contact point between my body and the camera, and no pressure points. The images I was able to get were quite blurry, quite smeary. No surprise in that. When I brought the viewfinder to my eye, still holding the camera with one hand, but adding one contact point and one pressure point. So I had 2 contact points and 1 pressure point. The image was already much sharper, much crisper, although not exactly perfectly sharp. Now, when I use the right technique, balancing the camera with my left hand and adding another contact point and another pressure point, so I have 3 contact points and 3 pressure points, I managed to get consistently sharp images at 1/15 of a second. Physics simply work. Now, sometimes you do want to shoot using your back LCD instead of the viewfinder. And again, with mirrorless cameras, you can easily do it. But when you do that, you lose a pressure point. Now, to counter that, you can use your neck strap as a pressure point. To do that, you simply stretch your neck strap forward until it really presses against your neck. With your two hands, you do the usual thing. You dig your elbow slightly into your rib cage and balance the camera over your left palm, while your right hand is free to maneuver. And it is almost as steady as when looking through the viewfinder. In this case, you have two contact points, but still you maintain the three pressure points. When I added IBIS into the equation, the shutter speeds I was able to reach were even slower. I managed to produce consistently sharp images at a quarter of a second, both ways, either looking through the viewfinder or looking through the back LCD with the neck strap technique. Nikon advertises its IBIS in the Nikon Zf to be effective up to 7.5 stops. But for the life of me, I cannot get a sharp image at half a second exposure. The maximum I can do is a quarter of a second at any focal length. So there must be something with the shutter itself that causes some vibration at longer exposures than that. This is, of course, far superior to anything you could do with film. Shutter shock comes into play at 1/60th of a second with cameras such as the FE2 and many other film cameras of that era. Only a very few cameras like the Leica R6 or the Nikon F4 were fitted with a balancer, a shutter balancer that enabled a little bit longer exposures, such as 1/30th, without having to resort to mirror lockup and the use of tripods. In daily photography, you rarely need such long shutter speeds. Of course, if you do night photography, astrophotography, you will always use a tripod. The Nikon Zf is a great educational tool because if you do not comply with the proper manner of holding a camera, it will punish you. It will hurt you physically. It is so much easier to hold the camera and operate it the proper way. Your right hand has the maneuverability to reach the right buttons, to comfortably squeeze the shutter release button and to turn the dials if necessary. As much as I like questioning conventional knowledge, in this case it works like a clock. You can't really defy physics. The more contact points, the more pressure points you have, the more comfortable the shooting experience will be. And the sharper, crisper your images will be. That will be all for today. If you like this video, if you like other videos on this channel and find them helpful in any way, please consider buying me a coffee. It's a nice gesture between gentlemen. Thank you for watching and see you again soon.